I'm going to call upon my colleague, Ramki. We've been speaking through the day about artificial intelligence, and I mentioned to you during my panel that we will be unraveling some bit of it later in the day, post the coffee break. And here we are. Uh, uh, Ramakrishnan Viswanathan, he is a senior partner with Cedar Management Consulting, and he is going to be the master of ceremonies for the next hour or so, starting with talking about AI in banking and financial services, and then follow it up on it's a very interesting panel discussion, also covering AI. So may I call upon Ramki? Ramki, if you could join us.
Thank you, Nikhil. Good morning, everybody. I think we are still in the morning days, so it's good morning, everybody. I hope you had a very good coffee break and you're all recharged, because we'll have a quick understanding or a quick presentation on AI. I know it might be repetitive for many of them, because I don't think AI is something new, because it's the buzzword today. Everyone is talking about AI to see how they could leverage AI, what they can do with AI, and so on and so forth. And obviously, we all know what UAE as a country is also doing with AI. You know, they have a ministry for artificial intelligence, one of the few countries in the world that has a ministry for artificial intelligence to become the AI hub of the globe. So we are in the right place to talk about this topic, and we'll have a very interesting panel after this, where we'll have bankers talk about what they are doing and in their view what AI brings to the table. Before that, we will just start with a quick presentation on AI and what we have seen as AI use cases in financial services. That would probably set the context for the panel. Right, so just a quick thought. Everyone today, if you look at most of the startups, today use the word .ai, and they feel that .ai will help them to get funding. But do you know what .ai is actually? Does it mean that all these fintechs that have .ai as an extension are really AI companies, or it is? Because the moment you look at any website, when it says .something, it's actually a domain name which is given only to countries, not given to any individual companies or any entities. But today use the word AI, but it's an interesting fact about AI. Now, going to that, let's do a quick introduction about AI. And so what AI is all about. Now, we all knew that AI has been there for some time, you know, whether it is the form of OCR in the past or some kind of machine learning. But and AI has always been there when people used to say, okay, you know, I had RPA, but why don't I put a intelligent automation? So an AI was there. But since the last probably 18 months or 24 months, ever since OpenAPI came up with ChatGPT, things suddenly changed and everyone started talking about AI again. But then if you look at it, ChatGPT is just a subset of AI, which is where people are focusing now at the moment. You have AI as such, you then have machine learning, and then you have deep learning, and then Gen AI and LLM, as we call it, large language model. But if you look at it, Gen AI and LLM are part of deep learning, which itself is a subset of machine learning, and machine learning is a subset of AI. So what we do is AI, if you look at it, it's just helping you to mimic human behavior. But Gen AI is helping you to also look at any kind of data, not only mimic human behavior, but also come up with the output. So when you say Gen AI, you're typically talking about, okay, you know, the question obviously comes, does Gen AI then replace humans, or it's going to complement, it's going to collaborate, or it's going to just replace? So that's how AI is all about, but it's not a monolithic technology, right? It's a combination of technology. It's a combination of models, combination of, you know, I would say, I won't say just models, but a combination of solutions that actually will help you to drive the objective that you would need. There are a lot of use cases that are coming up in banking at the moment, but the focus is on very few use cases where there has been success globally. Now, if you look at what GenAI, where people are talking about, one of the key thing about GenAI is, what is GenAI? You need to give it a lot of inputs and then it will give you an output. Now, that is the most important thing from a GenAI perspective. Now, we had this panel where people are talking about data. So for GenAI, data is very, very critical. Now, how your data quality is, your output is going to be. Because your model gets trained based on the quality of your data. So that is very critical. And so when you're saying, okay, I have data I have a set of data. For example, we have a lot of people here. There may be corporate bankers who need to put proposals to their customers. There are fintechs who need to put proposals to their customers, and you want the proposals to be generated automatically. But how do you do it? Because today you spend time to prepare those the proposals. How do you do it? You need to feed in with all the past proposals that you have in order to train the model for it to come up with a proposal that would minimize your work to update and send it. So that's very critical. Now, that's what the challenges talk about, right? It's if you don't give enough, the context is not there, then you will not be able to use AI efficiently. But what is so interesting about Gen AI today, right? There used to be a time when when people used to go to the board asking for budgets for doing some POC, even doing a POC on AI. But what is happening now? It's top down. Money is being given to people, and they have been told, tell me what you can do in AI. Show me a use case. Show me an output that you can, that I can see using UI, which will help me to drive efficiency, probably reduce cost, and so on and so forth. So it's other way around. Earlier it used to be bottom up. Now it's becoming top down. That's one of the reasons why there is a lot of impetus on AI as well, across industries and specifically in banking. Now, in that context, let's see what are some of the use cases that we are seeing. So there are broadly 8 areas that we are seeing where AI use cases are prevalent in the market today. Obviously, in the customer servicing and onboarding, which also includes entire customer experience and the marketing side of it. The advisory wealth management, which is one more use case. Research, obviously, financial research, which is done by most of the economists in the banks. AML, KYC, and identity, so from a compliance standpoint, to see how the entire cost of compliance, cost of fraud can be reduced. Legal and compliance, obviously, fraud, finance and treasury, and legal underwriting. But if you look at it, where there has been a lot of use cases that banks are investing is primarily on risk, regulatory compliance, because that is where, do you want to spend money paying penalty to the regulators, or you would like to bring in these technologies to ring fence your risk. Now, interestingly, if you look at many of the providers like Microsoft, Google, especially from the Azure perspective or from a GCP perspective in the market, they are investing with clients to build AI use cases. So they are investing in clients. So it's not just the banks, but even these tech companies are now getting a lot of push from their management to see how they can work with banks to come up with use cases. And they are also investing with partners to see how they can build these use cases. And many of them are in these areas, but primarily around 2 areas where you have a large uptake has been on compliance, regulatory compliance, risk, fraud, and on customer onboarding and customer experience standpoint. So some of the use cases that we would like to look at is, if you look at, this was what Commonwealth Bank did in with H2O.ai. So it's again to do with documents. So they get a lot of documents. They used to have OCR, but that was not working well. So they deployed AI and they got benefits. See, 50 to 85% automation. They could process millions of documents earlier. Even they had OCR. A lot of documents will be done manually, but now everything has been automated. And obviously, this has reduced the operational cost. So one of the things I was mentioning about the cost of compliance. So this has significantly reduced the operational cost and improved productivity. But more importantly, it has also increased the output. So it's no longer, you're under the radar. So if whatever miss was there in the past because of which you were subject to penalty, that entire cost from that perspective is coming down as well. If I look at some of the HDFC in India, so it's an insurance company, but what they have done is AI voice. So they used to have a lot of calls. I heard, I think Ali in the first presentation, the first panel was talking about he doesn't want to get to hear multiple, times speak to the same bot who's not able to get to what he needs. So, and he would like directly to get into to the agent. So what this has done is this has mimicked your agent. So, this is not your traditional chatbot. So this has mimicked your agent. So you're actually talking to the agent. And it's not just using through any FAQs or something like that, but it's using real-time data that on which you build or you train how the AI responds to the queries, and they have significantly benefited from it. The numbers are there: 60% reduction in wait times, 40% reduction in lead conversation. Because what is lead conversion? Earlier, most of the time they were busy with just responding to queries, but now they have now become more like an outbound who are able to now do a lot of sales as well. And then customer satisfaction also has increased, because earlier people used to wait a lot of time for the call center agent to respond, or they had to navigate through the bots, which was taking time, which was actually impacting customer experience. And 28% cost. So eventually with AI, there are two things that will keep coming every time up. I mean, two key, I would say, impact or two key outputs that people will be expecting is: one is definitely on the operational efficiency standpoint. Second thing is on the cost standpoint. So you cannot avoid these two questions coming up from any from the board or anyone who's investing when actually you're looking at implementing an AI solution. Similarly, something which is done in the region, Saudi Awal Bank with MasterCard from a fraud management perspective. So they implemented the TRM, the transaction risk management technology from MasterCard. It's AI enabled. So this helped them to reduce their false positives and also enhance their fraud prevention capabilities and the trust and confidence, because they had a technology, but you all know that they went through an integration and SAB and Alaval, and then it became Saudi Awal Bank. The volumes picked up, and for the volumes for the targeted volumes, they had some challenges in addressing the requirements, and they had some issues where they had to pay penalty and so on and so forth. So they wanted to prevent that, and many of the banks are either working closely with MasterCard or Visa. This bank works closely with MasterCard, and hence they were able to implement the technology and reap benefits. Morgan Stanley's very own co-pilot. Now, Morgan Stanley has a lot of investment advisors, and they needed data. Earlier, they used to spend time looking at data to actually respond or to get back to their investors or to get back to their customers who wants to invest. But now with all the research reports available, which the AI tool is able to do it, they are able to pick that and actually understand what exactly the customer or what exactly the customer profiles are. So it looks at the customer profiles, it looks at the research reports, and exactly advises the customer as to what they need to do and what is it that they need to propose to their customers from an investment standpoint. So having said that, with some of the use cases, what is required to embed AI in the organization's culture. Now, this is something I'm just touching upon here briefly, which is going to be a topic which we'll listen to the bankers as well as part of the panel. So empowerment through learning, I think everyone needs to be educated about AI, what AI does, cannot do, what are the pitfalls, how you can leverage. Steering the vision, it has to come from the top. It has already started, but it still needs to be coming from the top. You have to have fusion teams, like what we call about diverse cross-functional teams, because see, as we said, AI is a tool. Now, how do you train that depends on us at the end of the day, so that we can reap benefits, for which it is critical that we have the right team in place so that they can give the right inputs to get the right output. Empowerment platforms, because end of the day, you need to have platforms which can actually work with, integrate with AI tools. Otherwise, many organizations are still caught with technology, legacy technology debt, which is creating those hassles in actually moving forward. So any platform that you're implementing needs to be aligned with future. So you're kind of securing your future, and you have to start celebrating the innovations. So it's not just looking at AI to see how you can, what is the impact, but also starts the impact is out there. Start celebrating, so that everyone feels empowered. Now, with that, I would like to just bring back the topic I talked about, UAE, which is UAE has adopted an AI strategy, and they have a dedicated ministry for AI. They want to become an AI hub, and so they are building AI capabilities, AI talent, and they are looking at creating a fund. Like the region itself has created a fund. We all know what PIF has done as well. So $40 billion fund for specific for AI startups. So even here in UAE, there are a lot of strategic foresight, and they want to become the test bed for AI. Any startup you want to launch, come here, and we'll help you to launch and build the tech talent for AI over here.